Hi there, everybody. What I'm doing today is a timeless reading that is to be used whenever you happen to stumble across it. And I'm trusting Spirit to have you stumble across it at exactly the right time for you. So if you are looking at this reading, it probably is for you. And, if you're not seeing it, then it's not. Okay, let's get started. Let's look at the situation that we have here, and then let's see what our best advice is from Spirit. Spirit, what situation would you like to talk about for this particular video? Okay, and then also let's look at the advice. Best advice for this situation. And then we'll talk about what the situation is, and we'll go over the advice before we get done here. Okay, so all right, so here's what we have. Let me just double check and make sure I've got my correct microphone on. Good. Okay. All right, so let's start with our situation. Okay, so situation is the Queen of Wands. This tells me that whenever you're watching this, you are somebody who is very creative, very outgoing. You have a very optimistic type of attitude, very much can-do type of person. You like to uplift and encourage other people. You may be into doing very crafty things or very artsy things, things that you can do with your hands and that you can see progress on. Okay. You also have a great sense of humor, and you like to keep the people around you laughing. Now, what's crossing you is the Four of Swords. And so this is telling me that right now you are finding that you're basically taking a break, and probably not a break that you chose. This is probably where you're not doing everything you would normally do. Um, and it's not your choice. It's because of something that's happened that's outside of your control. Also, I want to say with this card, you probably also are somebody who, you have your own thing going as far as business wise. You may be an entrepreneur. You probably, if you are working as an employee somewhere, you probably also have a side gig. And if you are not working as an employee, then obviously you're doing your own thing. You have your own business, or you're offering your own services. Okay, so you're on your own financially. Okay, so you're either on your own financially or you have a side gig, and there's something going on where you've sort of taken a break from. I think you've taken a break from working on the side gig or working on your own business, and I think that break is not of your own choosing. It's because of some kind of outside force. Okay, so let's look at best advice for you here. Best advice for you here. Okay, so here's the thing. I think I already showed you these cards. Maybe I didn't. First card that we have is the Page of Swords in reverse. Excuse me, something in my throat. Page of Swords in reverse just says use this downtime to educate yourself, to look for information and find information. Excuse me, I need to pause this video a second. Sorry about that. I didn't want to sneeze right into the microphone or on the camera there. Let's see. So first card was the Page of Swords reverse. This is telling me that you want to take advantage of this downtime to find out new information, to do some learning, to even be digging for new information, but very consciously learning something new. Something that's going to benefit you and help you, so that whenever this downtime is over, you're able to move out of it with some new information, some new knowledge, possibly even some new skills. Okay. The next card that we have coming up in advice is the Two of Cups showing up in reverse. The Two of Cups in reverse is telling me that there's either a person that you've been spending time with or an activity that you've been participating in, and maybe even one of each or both, that you're really not enjoying that anymore. Maybe you used to, but you're not really enjoying it anymore. And so it's time to actually acknowledge that. I'm feeling like you haven't really acknowledged that. You might have been thinking that, but you haven't really done anything to make any changes that are appropriate to that fact. You're just pretending like everything's just the way that it used to be. And I get that because it can be very comfortable, but it is time to take a look at this idea of, you know what, I'm just not enjoying that anymore, and start to figure out, what am I going to do about that? Am I going to change things so that it is more enjoyable? Am I going to start spending my time doing things that are more enjoyable and lay off of that? So it's time to start really looking at that fact that that's the way things are, and figuring out, okay, well, what do I do with that information? Where do I go from here? Okay, so that's your next piece of advice. 7 of clubs is what comes up last here. Trying to get in the camera nicely for you. So 7 of clubs talks about standing your ground, talks about setting boundaries and not letting others bulldoze those boundaries down, really standing by them. Okay, so when you've got your 7 of clubs here, this is just saying that I feel like what's going on in here is, once you're realizing that this is not something you really are excited about participating in anymore, and when you just actually start taking action, once you've really looked at that fact and started taking the appropriate action here, I think what you've got going on then is you've got people saying, oh, but we've always done this. Oh, but we've always had dinner together on Sunday, or, we always got together and drank on Friday night, or whatever it is. Okay. So you're going to have people that are going to be really resisting these changes that you're making. And this card just says, stand your ground. Don't let somebody talk you out of changes that are actually going to make you happy. Everybody has the right to be happy. I just don't happen to believe that God put us on this planet to be miserable. I just have a hard time seeing what the point of that would be. Why would that even happen? And so, I mean, unless God hates us, which I don't think he does. So this talks about whatever this is that you have realized that you don't enjoy anymore, and now that you're doing something to change that, you are going to meet resistance. That's the first thing that this card says. You're going to meet some resistance on that. People are going to, push back, and you want to hold your ground. You don't want to let them push you too far back. You just want to hold on to that ground and, stick with the decisions you made about the changes that need to happen. Okay? So it looks to me like your downtime, even though you may not have wanted it or asked for it, your downtime is really allowing you to step back and regroup on something that, maybe you didn't have time to really think about or approach or figure out before. Now you've got the time to do that and take action on it. So your downtime is actually a blessing in disguise. Thanks for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. If you would like to leave comments and feedback down below, that would be great. And have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you.